Hi friends, Whitney with Girl Friday Crafts. Actually, I can't even bend down far enough for you to be able to see me. So I am working on a door sign for a friend of mine. I made one for our door last year and she had commented that she liked it, and I told her I would make her something similar. I will post a picture of my door sign in the comments. And I am working on hers. Got some inspiration doing hers a little bit differently. So I have taken a finished round door hanger, and this has the twine on the back to hang it from Michael's. Painted a little bit of red and a little bit of green. Space is going to be for the saying, which I'm going to work on tomorrow. But what I have decided to do is I'm going to add a little bit from the Nordic Winter. This is the Chalk Couture Nordic Winter transfer, and so we're going to put a little bit of that on this in Shimmer Frost. And I'm realizing I do not have my fuzzing cloth or a squeegee, none of which is going to help me. Not even sure you all can hear me as I'm walking around in my room. Okay. This was sort of a last minute decision, so I'm not really well set up right now. I don't have my typical chalking set up right now, so I apologize. A little all over the place. Okay, so I am also working on a different way of storing transfers. So with the cut apart transfer, what I've done in the past has been to cut it completely apart and store it that way. I'm finding I don't necessarily like that, so I'm trying something different, which is what I've seen some other designers do, and I am keeping it all together, cutting off the part that I'm going to use as I'm using it, but keeping it on the backing sheet and keeping the whole set together. So we'll see how that goes. Woo, this one is really sticky. So I am trying not to lift the whole transfer off the backing sheet. And I'm just going to cut off this piece. So we'll kind of see how that goes. In terms of changing my storage. And I hate when I decide to start storing things one way and then change my mind on it, because then I have to figure out what to do with the stuff that I've already done one way. That's kind of a different problem. So it's kind of funny because I really had not intended to buy this particular stencil set. I'm not really a Nordic Winter person. But a few weeks ago, there were some promos going on, one of which was if you buy the Birds of a Feather, one of the Birds of a Feather kits, you got an extra transfer for free. And the one transfer for free that I did not already have was the Nordic Winter, and the bird kits are cute. So I decided to buy one, and I'm kind of actually glad I ended up with this one. One, it's going to be cute for this project, but two, seeing it in person, it is kind of cute. So I am, sorry, you all can't see what I'm doing here. So I am putting my transfer on my defuzzing cloth to kind of defuzz it. I have already waxed these two pieces, these two parts of the door sign. Since it's not a chalk surface and it is wood, it is always recommended that you wax it. Now, the red is the top, and I'm going to chalk it upside down because it'll be easier since it's closer to me, but for positioning purposes, I kind of need to see what I'm doing here. Okay. Now there is a potential that this might get covered in ribbon and some other frou-frou stuff, but right now, yeah, that's not quite centered. Where am I? Looking for my tweezers. I must have put them away. Trying to pull up this corner without scratching the paint. There we go. Okay. So, what's up? I had taped down the door hanger when I was painting this so it wouldn't get in the way. And now I kind of need it. I can kind of see my center point. So I am not one much for measuring. I tend to just go by look or like the placement of my fingers. Not perfect, but it seems to work. And we're going to put this low enough so that if I do cover it, or if I do put some ribbon or something at the top, you'll be able to see it a little bit. So the center is going to be vinyl, and it's going to be a line from Christmas Vacation. So I haven't decided if I'm going to do a video of putting the vinyl on it or not. But if nothing else, I will put a picture of the finished product in the comments if you want to see it. And like I said, I'll have a picture of the one I made for myself. So I am using the Shimmer Frost so that we get a white paste. It's going to pop on these two colors with a little bit of shimmer because, you know, holiday season and whatnot. So do that. And what size squeegee do I want here? I don't need it to be too tiny. Yeah, I'm just going to use the small or the extra small squeegee. Make sure that that is all the way down so I don't have any bubbles. I'm going to drag this across. You know, I didn't actually do it. Trying to learn to start in the middle and work my way out from there because the paste sometimes does pull. So if you start in the middle, then it's not really kind of getting an even hand. And there's my dogs, so my apologies for that. No idea what's going on there. Who knows what they're barking at. They think they're guard dogs. They're really not, because if you walk into my house with treats, then they're gonna be your best friend. All right, so we are gonna get this and we are gonna lift it. Oh yeah, super cute. Okay, and then I'm gonna drop this down. I do have a little water bath here. So if you are new to chalk, or if you've ever gotten like a try me kit or something like that that comes with instructions, it'll tell you not to soak your transfers because it can remove the sticky. And that is true. However, I have found that just soaking it for a couple of minutes while you're doing something like this where you're, like trying to complete a project and maybe you're using multiple transfers, or you're trying to do, a couple of really small things at one time. Soaking the transfer for just a couple of minutes doesn't seem to hurt the sticky. And if you take a antibacterial wipe, like one of those Lysol wipes, and go over the back of the transfer once it's dry, that kind of helps bring the sticky back if you do lose it. But if you do not get a transfer in water, especially if you're using some of the shimmer paste and the paste dries in the negative space, then you're really going to have a hard time using that transfer in the future. And I don't have a sink in my basement at this moment. So when I'm trying to complete a project, or I'm trying to knock out a couple of small things all at one time, I have found that it works better just to throw the transfer in a water bath just for a couple minutes. You don't want it to sit for very long. And the lovely thing about Chalk Couture is that this is a really fast medium to use. It does not take you a long time to complete a project unless you're doing multiple different colors and you need to let it dry in between. So this one is a bunch of little flowers, and it's going to take up almost the entire space that I've got here. So I don't have to worry too terribly much about where it goes. I just want to make sure it's straight. And I used painter's tape and I drew lines on this earlier to make sure that I got it nice and straight. So if I follow this green line with my transfer, I should be okay. Okay, again, make sure that's adhered down. And I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to use the Shimmer Frost. But for this one, because this is a much smaller design, I am going to use a squeegee that I cut in half so that I can really get into that design, into that negative space really well. Now this is a very skinny little strip of a transfer. I'm going to be kind of careful so that I don't get Shimmer Frost paste on my little green section of the door hanger here. Now it is waxed, so if I tend to it quickly, it should wipe off, but if I go kind of slow and careful, it should be okay. Go back over this, look to see. Sometimes if you're really looking, you can see places where the paste might not have gone through the transfer all the way, and you can go back over it before you lift the transfer. There we go. All right, yay! Okay, all right, so that is that, and if I hold it up, I can't even, so that's the top, and then that's the bottom, and I'm on my phone, so I don't have a screen big enough to show you the whole thing all at once. Oh, maybe if I do it like that. There you go. Now you should be able to see the whole thing. Like I said, this is going to be vinyl with a quote from Christmas Vacation. And then when I have that on there, I'm going to send it to the friend of mine that I'm making this for and ask her if she would want a ribbon up there. can do a ribbon that won't hide the ho ho ho. I can do a ribbon without a train, without the hanging part. So, okay, so I will be back if I decide to do a video about, you know, putting the vinyl on there. I will do that. If not, I will post the finished product in the comments. Thank you for watching and have a great day.